Okay, so here is gonna be the final boss attempt in Gate of Chaos. I literally just used this strat on the Mantis boss, which is only about like 22, 23 million HP, and it works. So I'm gonna see if it works on the final boss. The only differences between the bosses, one, the Mantises have only 22 million HP, Flowers and the final boss have 45 million HP, and then the Mantis have 5 turns of immunity when they move, Flowers have 7, and the final boss has 10, or has 9, excuse me. So, yeah, I've not actually tried this, and I haven't seen any other strats that people are using. This is, honestly, I'm surprised it even worked for the 22 million boss. But yeah, let's take a look at it and see how it performs. So, what we have going here is the boss has 9 death guard at the start, which doesn't matter. But the important part is that the boss has 9, excuse me, turns where after he moves, he's immune to damage. So basically, only my 9th turn can deal damage, which is going to be Eden. Now, I do not have any hope of one-shotting this in a round or two. So it has to be a super long and drawn-out fight, so I decided to use Cecilia as the gimmick here. She's basically going to tank the boss for hundreds and hundreds of turns with her ability that lowers his attack range to 1 tile. And the way that we're going to do that is we're going to boost her agility with supports up to 100% so that the dots graze. Right now the dots are 100 turns, so when they graze they're 50 turns. And then when a dot grazes, because these dots stack indefinitely, with a graze, the most dots she'll ever have at the same time is 5. And we can see that each one does 12% of her HP. So most damage she'll be taking is 60% HP every turn. So the way I have my support set up is they are going to be buffing her with 61% HP heal at the start, and then it goes up from there. The way that's working is I have Sui, who has a 10% heal, Themis, who has a 5%, Sabrina has a 7%, Helena has a 6%, and now the other two are actually based off their own max HP, but Floria's 24% and Idolin's, let's see where it is, 12% scale off their own HP, but Floria is going to be buffing up both of them and raising their HP, so I'm starting at 61%, and it's only going up from there. So yeah, just a look, that's a plus 15 Sui, plus 5 Themis, 9 Idolin, 14 Floria, 14 Celia. I didn't use HP runes and I took off her soul gear, that way she has as little HP as possible. Plus 9 Sabrina, a plus 0 Helena, and then my damage is going to be Feronia into Eden. And basically the gimmick is we just go into overtime and let Eden keep stacking his damage with those berserk buffs, and hopefully the boss dies in the end. So yeah, there you go, no more talk. Let's see what happens. So when I did this on the first boss, just like with Guild Wars and Arena and everything, at round 15, the game times out and you just exit the screen. So we won't know the result until after it's over. And we won't get to watch the whole thing either. But we'll at least get a chance to see. So in the early stages, Eden gets a ton of damage. You can see 20k attack and almost 600% crit damage. Cecilia has more buffs than God, and you can see those two dot icons. They'll keep eventually cycling back to the back. That's going to stack up to 5, and we'll go no higher. And you can tell that she's healing to max because her max HP is 7,951. So she drops to 6,900, up to 74, and then she'll jump once more back up to 79. So here we are on the boss. We can see we started out at 45, we're down to 44. So 1,000,000 damage, boom, now we're down to 43. And yeah, pretty much just a waiting game now. The way this boss immunity mechanic works is you really can only DPS on turn 9 of your form. You have to use 9 units, and it has to be your last unit. Angelica, I think, would be a really good candidate for this. The 50% defense that's on the boss, though, makes me a little worried for her damage scaling. Eden ignores damage, or ignores defense, and the boss only has 20% incoming damage reduction. So I figured Eden probably does a little more damage in this situation. Let's see Cecilia. Oh, yep, there's our HP back up at 79. Boss is now at 42 million. Turn 70. Yeah, as long as CC doesn't die, this form theoretically should work forever until the boss's normal attack is able to kill Cecilia in one hit, which he's only got 256, so not a very strong chance of that happening. So we're already at turn 82. Eden's self-buff has dropped off, so now he's only at about 13,000 HP. And he lost a ton of crit damage, but that's okay, because soon we're going to start getting the Berserk buff, and then the damage will start ramping up. Here we go. Round 10. Boss is at 41 million HP. Eden's at 5 HP, now 3. Boss is down to 41 mil. Cecilia's still trucking along. Here she'll jump back up to 7,900. Good to go. Turn 117. Boom, 40 mil. Alright, round 13. Only a couple more rounds, and then it's going to time us out. Another thing is you don't want Eden to be in the HP regen area because you want him to be as low as possible. Boom, alright, we're doing well. CC's hanging in there. Alright, this one pops him for, down to 37 mil. Alright, now we time out. Here is the moment of truth, where we see, did we clear it? And we did. Wow. Okay. I honestly didn't know if that was going to work. I didn't know if any of them was going to work. But you can see right there. Boom. There is the Ancient Magic Stones for the boss clear. You can see 0% HP on the boss. So yeah, if you're looking for a meme 7 support Cecilia tank build with an Eden DPS, this is the build.